Today we're going to be putting back together the Stevens 94. Not modifying this gun in any way, this receiver. This is basically just a reassembly video I made, some videos years ago on this topic, and with new technology, better camera systems and everything, I think I can do a little bit better job. Got all my parts laid out here. We've already took it apart, and you'll see that in the previous video. But basically, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our firing pin in. It consists of a firing pin and a firing pin retaining screw. Basically, you want to take your firing pin with the notch that's in the center, and you'll put that in its recess and make sure that the notch is facing up. That way that when you put your firing pin retaining screw in, it'll feed into that notch and hold it in place. Okay. You see our firing pin is protruding. You'll put your firing pin retaining screw. It'll just sit in the top up here. It's a very tiny screw. It goes in at an angle. You just start that. The one thing I've found that really fits these very well is one of these little micro screwdrivers. I actually had a set. And that's typically all I use this bit for, is these firing pins. And you'll just screw it all the way down in. Do not over tighten it, because if you over tighten it, your firing pin will not move back and forth. The last thing you want to do is have a non-functioning firing pin. So once we put it in and tighten it all the way down, we'll back off just a hair so that our firing pin will move freely back and forth, and it should not fall back out of the receiver, because that screw holds it into place. Okay. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our trigger guard, because while we have nothing in here, it gives us free range to tighten up our screw, because this is the design of the old style, where it has the screw that goes through the top of the trigger guard. Your easiest bet for this is to just go ahead and put your screw through the hole, hold it in place with a finger where your screw is sticking out the bottom. Then you can start your trigger guard into the screw itself. That'll keep it from flying all over the place. Then you can push it up into place. That'll give you access to your screw through here. You'll take your really long screwdriver and you'll just tighten that down. This is where a lot of people mess up. They think they need a 90-degree offset screwdriver. You don't. You just need a really long screwdriver, right? And in fact, you can leave that a little bit loose where you can turn it around a little bit. But basically that's how you attack that. Okay, so now we have our trigger guard on. Next thing we're going to do is put in our locking block.